WeP3 Radio is produced in partnership with Reach Across America Radio. Support the mission to remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach future generations the value of freedom at reachacrossamerica.org.
It's Sunday, June 8th, and you are here for the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. You're currently listening to WeP3 Radio, produced with the partnership of Reach Across America Radio, with the mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach future generations the value of freedom. Created by the men and women who have served our country. Currently playing on WeP3 Radio, Johnny Reach, I Am the Wolf.
Through a heart of stone, every man that's with us, another man done gone. I am the water, I am the wine, I am the wolf. I am the water, I am the wine, I am the wolf.
You got it!
Conquerors, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
For a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 Team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Truck it off.
You got it!
comes the, y'all don't really want it like, yeah, here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like.
With Andrea Eichmann.
Here I am. Hey, it's Andrea Eichmann here with the People's Patriot Project. It is the 8th of June, 2025. Here we are with the People's Patriot Project show that we bring every Sunday evening. It is the We Got Your 6 at 6 show. Every week we try to bring you a new guest. A lot of times we have a new artist, and then we share all the good, sometimes not so good things that are happening in our world. This week, we have an all-star panel. We have got Brennan Morton, author of Vahalla Boys, and we get to hear the music and hear the stories behind the music with Ryan Daniel. Our sponsors for tonight include Green Hills Contracting. This is a veteran-owned and operated contracting company out of Moberly, Missouri. Thank you, Timothy Newton. Catch 22 with Derek Iozio, Operation Texas Strong. That is the Krutzingers down in Texas. And then the Boho Hobos Hideaway with Lauren Iozio. We have Brian Kenzer here. He's with us. We're going to hear from him in a little bit. He's going to help us with getting on the right side of our health, supporting American families, jobs, and the economy, and supporting the WeP3 mission all in one big package. We can also be heard on Reads Across America Radio, Sunday evenings at 11 p.m. Eastern. You can find Reads Across America Radio on the iHeart app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app. Just search Reads. And a little story on that. Anyone who might go listen, I just want to let you know there may be a few swear words on the episode that you will watch. Not this live one tonight, but the one from last week. And we have to give you a heads up on that because it's not typical, but it happens. So I didn't tell Peterson and Jonathan this, but they determined that because it's 11 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Central, it's okay to have a couple swear words on. So beware, America. We would like to thank all of our sponsors, our guests, and our viewers. Before we start this week's show, we are going to ask that you take off your hats, stand if you can, cover your hearts, and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America.
And to the republic,
for
which it stands, one
nation,
under God,
indivisible,
with liberty,
justice for all.
Well, dude, Captain Ryan made it.
Oh, see,
Captain Ryan made it to the intro. Was that you, Brian?
The AI, I told it, put all the pretty people on the top, but the AI decided that's not the way it, I mean, I'm sorry, guys. This is the way I see it, but the AI has another plan. That's not true. I made that all up. Hey, holy cow. It is. I keep saying May, but it is June. You realize it's June. It's June 8th, and it's summertime, and I hope everyone has had a chance to chill, have a weekend beverage if that's what you do, and enjoy your family. And we're a lot of new guests coming in and new viewers coming in, seeing. These are probably coming off Brendan and Ryan's channels. Derek Iozio, good to see you, brother. Channeling through. We are now 2 weeks out of Memorial Day, and I've kind of made it my pilgrimage to make sure that it's just not one day that we remember those that have given us the liberties and the freedoms that we have, who have laid their entire the most ultimate sacrifice, their life, so that we can have these. And I am not going to be the guy that bows down to You know what? This is Men's Mental Health Weekend. I'm sure Jonathan's going to tell us about that here real quick when we get into the news. No, we're not going to do that.
I missed it.
There's could be some other claims for something else in the month of June. It is what it is. We're not going to attack. We're not going to go after that. We're not going to do that. I'm not even really mentioning it. But the reality is, it's a frustration when we have one day given to the men and women who have given the ultimate sacrifice so all people can have the freedoms to do these things. And I'm going to say, remember, do better, and let's grow. Jonathan, can you share with us what you got for the news tonight, brother? Is that us all? No, I don't know what's going on here. This is not doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, this must be my part.
Well, when I said, Jonathan, would you like to share the news?
Oh, no, missed all of that.
Okay, fair enough.
Here we go. June is National PTSD Awareness Month. 2014, the Senate designated the month of June as PTSD Awareness Month. The U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs was one of the forerunners in the fight against PTSD. Some of the earliest mentions of PTSD date back to 50 BC, before it was officially named PTSD. The National Center for PTSD states that about 7 to 8% of the population will experience PTSD in their lifetimes. Some experts say that it is normal to experience shivers and trembling after a traumatic event, as it is the body's natural way of releasing excess adrenaline. PTSD Awareness Month is a reminder of the strength of humans. Our minds have immense strength, but we also have our limitations. And learning to recognize those limitations, work around them within our own capacity, shows just how strong we can be. We also have the strength to get better on our own. And the road to recovery is different for everyone, but it is there for everyone. June 8th through 14th is National Flag Week. It starts on June 8th every year, and it is a day for all Americans to celebrate and honor the flag, its designers, its makers. It is a week for citizens to pause and recognize the greatness of this nation and its people. The American flag has a proud and glorious history, and many brave soldiers have died defending it. Since the adoption of the initial Stars and Stripes back in 1777, there have been 27 official versions of the American flag. The current 50-star flag was adopted July 4th, 1960, after Hawaii became the 50th state. The American flag remains a powerful symbol of liberty, justice, and national unity, having flown continuously since 1777. June 14th is the Army's birthday. It's a big one, too. The Army originally consisted of volunteer soldiers and was formed to fight the Revolutionary War. Today, it is the largest branch of the U.S. military. The proud men and women of the Army continue to provide peace and security for all of us. 30 former United States presidents have served in the Army. 2 were 5-star generals, and 1 was awarded the Medal of Honor. Soldiers serve at 158 installations around the world, covering approximately 24,000 square miles. The Army is the nation's second largest employer. Walmart beat it out. This is more than celebrating an organization. This is about celebrating the men and women who put on the uniform in service to their country. And as we celebrate the Army's birthday, let's celebrate those past and present that have made sacrifices for our freedom. June 14th is also Flag Day, and Flag Day marks the Second Continental Congress's adoption of the first United States national flag, June 14th, 1777. It is a day for Americans to reflect on the flag's history, its evolution alongside the country, and the sacrifices made to uphold the ideals that it embodies. Some of the most iconic moments involving the American flag would be the raising of the flag on Iwo Jima 1945, and the planting of the flag on the moon by Neil Armstrong in 1969. There are, however, many other memorable moments where the flag was flown. One in particular would be the flag flying over the rubble that would have been the World Trade Centers. In those times, it symbolizes mourning and unity among the people. So this is a week where we should fly our flags high and think about the sacrifices that were made to keep it high on that pole. That is it for the news.
I would like to, because in case there's any confusion, I would like to say, make sure we are flying our American flag high on that pole on the grounds of America, because there seems to be a little bit of confusion in some people's spaces as to how that works. And if I need to push that button, I'm going to push that button. We're talking about the American flag, folks. The red, white, and blue, Old Glory, the one that's behind Jonathan, the one that sits over here, the one that we see flying at our Capitol most of the times. I'm just saying. I can get spicy on this. So thank you, Jonathan, for the news. Thank you for everyone being here. Looks like we got some messages to some people out there that Miss Emily Marie, you must be a fan. Someone here. Oh, we are a working group. We are the people, the People's Patriot Project, and it's a conversation I have with our board. Reminder: tomorrow night is a board meeting for the People's Patriot Project. But this is we have a point in the show where I want everyone to go to work as well. So everyone's got a device. Some of you are watching the show on the device. That's okay. We can multitask here, and that's fine and wonderful. I would like you to get into your text thread. This is the section of the show that we call Check Your Six. And we want you to make sure, first of all, check yourself. You know, we've been trained, those have been in the military and as a first responder, you have to do a self-assessment at times. And you do your pat downs, you check, you look around, you make sure that you're mission ready, that you got all the things you need to have. And there may be a moment that in between, you may not quite be there. It doesn't mean the mission doesn't go on, but it does mean that we need to find the supports and or the resources you need to have to be successful. And we want to do that. So if you need anything, you can reach out to the People's Patriot Project. We also know that you can reach out to, if it's on another level, you can reach out to the suicide hotline. You can reach out to your VSO. You can reach out. But we are an active opportunity. And again, yes, we are mission forward on veterans and first responders, but we don't push anyone away. If you are in need of help and support, let us know. We are here. It is that time and place. So the other part of Check Your Six is in a text message. I'd also like you to type in just thinking about you. Not real hard stuff, just thinking about you. I'd like you to copy that, paste that, and send that to 6 people in your contact list. Yes, again, we are veteran and first responder forward. That's our mission. That's what we do. But that doesn't stop the fact that there are other people out there that are in need of social emotional supports. And I'm not going to let anyone off that list. I mean, we can always be better. We can always move forward, and we can always reach out to those that are in need. Have one of those 6 be someone that was a leader for you. For some reason, we forget to remember our leaders. Have one of those messages also be to someone that you ended up in a relationship that ended up being sideways a little bit. It might have been because of a bad joke. It might have been because you were a knucklehead. It might have been because they were a knucklehead. It might have been because They dear Jodied you back in the day, and it is what it is. You didn't want to be with that person anyway. So have the tough conversation. And again, sorry, not sorry. We're not asking you to reach out to ex-boyfriends and girlfriends and wives and husbands and stuff like that. If you want to, please feel free. If you have that relationship, I know that there are many people that have a great relationship with exes and stuff, and that's great and that's grand. This is an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to support, and it's an opportunity to take care of those people in our lives that were important to us at one time. So check your 6. That is our plan of attack, our action, our call to action. That's what it was. All right, folks, we have an amazing panel tonight. We have the amazing Ryan Daniel, and I literally say amazing. The guy is the full package in the world of veteran music, and it is you won't be let down. And you can currently hear Mr. Daniel on WeP3 Radio. His music has already been loaded, and we're going to get more of his content on there too. He's got 3 songs on there right now. We'll hear those songs tonight during this show. And then we have the amazing Brennan Morton, 3 books out there, and his most recent, Vahalla Boys. And I think this was supposed to go to Andrea, but it came to me, so I get to read it first, and we'll get to those pieces. But thank you for sending. She's mad at me, Brennan. She's mad at me. You did not get the mission right, just so you know. No, you got the mission right because you're here and you can explain all the things with us. Yeah. Thank you for being here tonight, gentlemen.
Excited to be here.
Excited to be here for sure.
Let's start, because this is going to be kind of a ping pong interview. If you haven't seen what we do, we're going to talk to Brendan first. He's the boots on the ground mission tonight. And then we will talk about the amazing music of Ryan Daniel and what he's doing. And then we'll play one of his songs. And then we'll go back to the next round of, what we'll get through there. So Brennan, tell us who you are and tell us about why, when, where, and how you decided you were going to become an author and put all your thoughts on paper.
So I'm Brennan Morton. I was in the Marine Corps. I was in the Special Operations. I was a sniper and team leader and breacher in 2nd Reconnaissance Battalion. I did 2 tours to Iraq. One of our tours was horrific, was the best way I can kind of describe it. And I'd always wanted to be a writer. I'd always wanted to be an author. And I joined the Marine Corps kind of to experience it's one of those experiences that I think there's a lot of young men and women who they just want to see what they're made of. They just want to see what they have. Are they good enough, etc. So I joined up. I made it into the Special Operations. We deployed. And the first deployment didn't go so well. So when I got out, the whole book came about. The book of Vahalla Boys came about when I went to counseling for PTSD, and I actually went to the VA and I got a therapist, and they had me write a lot of the bad portions of the experience again and again and again, and so a couple chapters of the book are actually from those therapy sessions. One of the chapters is called "The Night Written 100 Times," and that's literally the product of my therapy sessions with my VA therapist for my own PTSD experiences and my loss and stuff like that. So I had never expected to write about it. It just kind of happened. But it really kind of opened my eyes to what I wanted to do with my writing. And so I have a fantasy series, sword and sorcery type series. But it's actually, for me, it's an analogy for my PTSD. The lead character in the first book, it goes through a very traumatic experience and has the signs and symptoms of PTSD, and it's kind of like coping and all the things that go along with it. And so I wanted to make a really realistic version of a fantasy novel. So I think Game of Thrones, but with people who are in the military version of it and who go through traumatic experiences and kind of have to make decisions and stuff in a more realistic way, in a way that a lot of veterans, I've actually gotten a lot of veteran feedback that they really appreciated some of the characters and relationships they had with them because of those experiences they had. So I try to kind of, it's my own little personal therapy still going forward. So I write these books. It's called the Pendulum series. Company of Bones is book 1, but it's my experiences in a fantasy setting, and a setting that I can kind of remove myself from it, but still write about all the things that, kind of conflicting and things that I still have to kind of cope with on a daily basis.
I'm in awe. This is the first time that I love the entire concept. I know that a lot of people get into this. So here's the deal. We stumble onto some organizations that they feel that it's okay to go over and completely, and I'm not arguing, I'm just saying this is what they do. Continue to go over their past experiences, and it almost seems like a glorification of the process. It's like, my story is bigger than your story. Here's the story, and we've all been in that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see this different in the fact that this is a helpful process to express like real life stuff in a fantasy manner, but then allows other people into that same process. Do you forward that in your stories?
Yeah, so I actually go into it. So at the end of the book, so I write the forward at the end of the book. I call it a backward. But I actually talk about those, that for if you kind of made these connections, if you kind of made this, that was the intent, that I was purposely doing it this way so people can understand that, like, the things that I experienced in a different way, where it's not kind of putting it, yep, that's me. So it's not putting it in your face. It's not jamming it in people's faces. It's showing them, what it's like in a way that at the end of the story, they can kind of come to empathy, some kind of, where they understand a little bit more. And then even Vahalla Boys, the book, the military book, which is a nonfiction memoir, it is not written like you said, like, it's not a who's a bigger story kind of book. It's very self-deprecating. I was very honest in it. I was very hard on myself when I wrote it. I wrote it right after I got out. At points, it's really dark. It gets really very, I actually talk about suicide in it, my own experiences with thinking about suicide and all the things that kind of went through my head. And some people didn't like it because of that. They wanted the old Navy SEAL, like, oh, badass. But I didn't want to be disingenuous in the, like, I didn't want to just, be comparing sizes of books. It was more for me catharsis, but then also showing people that there's this other side to it. There's the beautiful stories that you hear, and I have some of those, but then there's the other side of it that people, I think, need to hear more about, the fallout of the whole thing. What happens after?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited about your message and your approach to it. I appreciate you. I'm always intrigued by our network of veteran and first responder, and the people that think that they should tell you how to express what you have been through and what you have done. That is always intriguing to me. And again, it's not a piece that I'm going to say we don't tolerate that, but brothers and sisters, please listen. You do you, and let our other brothers and sisters heal the way that they need to heal. And these can be effective tools to grab other people who have like-minded or received situation. So I thank you, Brennan, for putting your information out there, and thank you for getting it. We're not done with you. If you can hang for, you can hang for. But we got a couple more questions for you, and we're going to bounce around here. And Ryan Daniel, good to have you here, brother.
Be here, man.
Same question series for you. Your mission's music, but who are you? Tell us about your service, And tell us about your mission and, or, you know, the start, the history, the influences to your musical ideology and where you're at, and let's roll.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Ryan Daniel. I'm obviously a country music artist now. I didn't start that way. I started off, I spent 10 years in the Air Force. And I was an ammo troop, deployed a total of 7 times in 10 years. And so, yeah, probably not quite as interesting as Brennan. I'm still taken back by what he was saying. Like, man, I don't read books, but I'm about to order his stuff because it sounds absolutely interesting. I love his take on the way he's telling his story. So, but yeah, I mean, I now try to, I don't know. My safe space, I guess, is the stage. I too have PTSD. You know, you go over there and you see and do things that, you know, just aren't normal. And I always look or laugh at folks that haven't done it, that, you know, what they see on TV and what they see on social media, you know, that's not what's going on. Like, that's not what you were referring to earlier, the boots on the ground kind of thing, you know. So things that and I'm definitely not going to speak for Brennan, but I'm saying guys like me and Brennan and guys that I deployed with and the women I deployed with, you know, things that we see there on the ground and what's going on is very different. And so yeah, so now my safe space on the stage, and I try to just encourage everybody to support our military, our first responders. I play a lot of events. I've played a number of, you know, everything from VFWs to military. I play a bunch of military bases, and talk to, you know, I've talked to veterans. I've talked to people who are still in, and so I think that's maybe, you know, my gift is probably for 2 or 3 hours on stage. I hope any veteran that's in the audience, or any military member, or even any first responder, I hope I take them away from maybe some of the ugliness in their life, and for just that moment, I can just, you know, make them smile, and that's the best I can do.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, we do get excited about all the artists that we have come through here, but your package comes on a different level, brother. And I'm the first. I don't know if anyone's told you that. I'm going to tell you that from our team, because I've had the chance to go through your stuff. Again, Ryan Daniel is set up on WeP3 Radio already. You have 3 songs booted up for us. Which one do you want to roll with first?
You know, we're talking about veterans. You know, maybe we roll "Feel Good Feeling." You know, you and I talked a little off camera about the gentleman that wrote it. I met him through another military friend that I was deployed with, and he introduced me to him. And you know, I didn't. It's one of those times, you know, you don't know who's fighting demons. You know, sometimes we don't see that, and I wish we could see more of it. But "Feel Good Feeling" is a great song, and he was an army veteran. He took his own life about 3.5 years ago, and that's still a song that I play in the show. We reference it in the video. He's in the video, and just gone too soon, but it's a great tune, you know.
This is Ryan Daniel, "Feel Good Feeling."
Yeah, we're grilling and chilling and having a good
time. Everybody here working on the tan lines. All week we've been sitting on go. Now it's time, we're ready to roll. Like a bonfire, light it up. Take a stereo and crank it up. Gather around, put your hands in the air. It's going down and everybody's here. Take a drink, yeah, turn it up till you just can't get enough. There ain't nobody thinking about leaving. I need some more of that feel-good feeling. It's 9 to 5 and a climbing. Tennessee sun sure shining down on us like it's spring break. But man, we're just chilling at the lake. Like a bonfire, light it up. Take a stereo and crank it up. Gather around, put your hands in the air. It's going down and everybody's here. Take a drink, yeah, turn it up till you just can't get enough. There ain't nobody thinking about leaving. I need some more of that feel-good feeling. When that moonshine rolls around, we'll be right here just burning it down. Like a bonfire, light it up. Take a stereo and crank it up. Gather around, put your hands in the air. It's going down and everybody's here. Take a drink, yeah, turn it up till you just can't get enough. There ain't nobody thinking about leaving. I need some more of that feel-good feeling. Yeah, that feel-good feeling. Yeah, that feel-good feeling.
That is Ryan Daniel, Feel Good Feeling. There's no G on the feeling, just so you know, folks, but the link is up there for that to find you on YouTube. Feel good, amazing, driven song. It reminds me of a little Stephen John, Life is Good. Also kind of puts me on there. I'm having a moment. Who's your inspiration when it comes to music, Ryan?
Garth Brooks obviously was like, for me, the guy. And if we're talking country, right? But I'm very eclectic as far as my music goes. But definitely Garth Brooks. Like, I loved his energy, his entertainment value. I think that's important in the music, kind of deal. But I also love bands like Three Doors Down and AC/DC. And so I think I just kind of gravitate towards that country rock vibe. Brantley Gilbert's another great one.
Does Kenny Chesney line up anywhere on there?
Oh, absolutely. Kenny
that's the feel I was getting. Let's go party. Let's go get on a boat. Let's go enjoy life. Let's get her done.
Mark, that was Evan. That was Evan Elliott. That's the guy that wrote it. And in that video, with the guy playing the guitar, that's Evan Elliott. And he wrote this song, and as artists we get pitched a lot, and I only really listened to it because it was a friend of mine that I deployed with, and he knew Evan. And he said, look, he's trying to become a songwriter, and I think he's got a really good song. And he pitched it to me, and I was like, wow, this thing is great. But that was Evan. Evan was that song. Evan was this outgoing, feel-good feeling dude, loved everybody. And I don't know. I'll keep my emotions in check. But I wish he was around to see the success that song has brought me. So
that's exciting. I'm going to be so. What our guests don't know is we can see them during the video cast when stuff is going on, and Ryan was pumped during this song. Arms were flying. He was in it. He was jamming. And he should. And for the record, I mean, not that anyone needs to see it or wants to. I was in the same boat, brother. This is like, let's get this done, man. And so, remember Evan Elliott for the good things he did and where he was at and what he did and the service he provided his country. And it's important to. I listened to a little video today, and there's a conversation about, those who have served that have passed have two deaths in their life, and one death is the physical death of leaving Earth, and the other death is when people stop saying their name. And so remember them. Back to my first conversation of Memorial Day. Every single day, remember why you get to lay your big fat heads on the pillows of freedom every single day. It's because of the men and women who have laid it on the line for us. And I will not stop in that pilgrimage and in that mission. And it's thank you, Ryan. It's a perfect message for what we need to hear in today's world. And I'm just happy we just have another feel good feeling song in our catalog now that we can we don't always have to go back to Stephen John and say it's a good day. And we love Stephen's music as well, but if you haven't had a chance to listen to Stephen John, hey, there's a place you can hear all these musicians, and that's on WeP3 Radio, where we play only veteran and first responder musicians. And so Ryan is up on that one as well. Let's get Mr. Kinzer in here before the pager goes off.
You know me well, yeah. Hey, good to see everybody. Great music. Thanks for your for writing, Brennan. It sounds like a great book. I'll have to check it out myself. So I'm a veteran first responder. That's why I'm not here very often, because for some reason we happen to get calls right during the show. But I also sponsor a store that we share with people. We like to say it's exceptional products, reasonable prices. But one thing that's really cool about it is it's all American. So it supports American families, American jobs, and it also supports WeP3 Radio. So Andrea puts a link in the comments. Go check it out. If you think it's something you're interested in, there's a link there to reach out to me. I can help set you up so you can do some shopping there. So we'd all appreciate it if you take a look.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Kinzer. And again, I always try to promote, when you hear the sirens rolling, take a moment and think about the men and women that are going to that call or going into a situation. Yes, they signed the dotted line to do it, but they never know what they're getting into. And so we wish them their safety, and we also wish and hope that they're not adding. I mean, it's part of the job, it's part of the mission, but adding extreme and sensitive trauma to their lives that they do actually end up taking home to their families. And so thank you, Mr. Kinzer, for all the work you do and continuing the mission in that space. We appreciate you, brother.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Brennan.
Yeah.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. I want to fight someone.
Could I ask Ryan a question?
Yes.
Ryan, so my question to you is, when did you first know you wanted to be a musician? Like, when was the first time that you were like, this is where I want to dedicate my life to?
Good question, Brennan. I grew up playing music since I was 7 years old. My grandfather was in the Air Force band. So growing up, I was actually a drummer. And up till I was like 19 years old, it's like I wanted to be or I say 18 really, because I joined the Air Force right after high school. But I really wanted to be like a rock star drummer my whole life, you know, and the scene came about. But life happens, and that to me was a pipe dream, and you know, that's for dreamers. And so I joined the Air Force like my dad and my grandpa, and loved it, and had an amazing time. So it hit me. I toured with a group called Tops and Blue, and Brennan, I know you said you were a Marine.
Yep.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the name of what the Marines version was, but I know like the Army had like the Army Soldier Show.
Yep.
Okay, and I know the Marines have something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Air Force has the same thing. So I toured in 2001 with them, and for those of you that doesn't know what those things are, each branch of the military has a group of people that are very talented musicians who will get together for a year and put on these amazing shows all across the country, all across the United States. So whether you're Air Force, Marines, Army, Navy, everybody has a group like that. So, you know, long answer to your question, Brennan, but that sparked me. And I was a vocalist, and I just saw the joy that we brought to people, and that I brought to people. And so I was like, wow, this is going to be amazing. But a story that I tell all the time is how it became where I'm at now. I was at my 10-year mark. So, you know, if you're going to re-enlist,
that's the hump, man. Either in or out. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing here? So I came home because a producer, while I was out on this tour, had spotted me and said, hey, you're super talented. You should get out and pursue this thing. And I'm like, man, that's for dreaming. You know, and I thought about it. I came home. My daughter at the time, who was the one that chimed in earlier, my youngest daughter actually, because my older daughter chimed in too. Kayla, hi, I love you. I came home and I sat them down. I said, hey, Daddy's got an opportunity to go, you know, maybe take a try at this music thing and maybe go change people's lives in that way. Or I can stay in and just, you know, do 10 or 20 more years or whatever. And my youngest daughter, Emily, at the time, she looked at me, she said, Daddy, I don't understand. And I was like, what don't you get, honey? And she was probably 10. And she was like, well, you always tell us girls that we can be anything we want to be, and we should always follow our dreams. She said, how come you're not?
Oh.
And right then, Brennan, I the next day, I went in my commander's office. Mm-hmm. And I was like, sir, I'm very sorry, but I'm not re-enlisting. And I told him that story. And they all knew that I was kind of dabbling at that point in the music thing. And so that's what turned me around. And thank God that she was smart enough at 10 to kind of say that. And I tell people that all the time to do that. I mean, not only myself, but I mean, you know, Brennan, your story is amazing, and what you're doing from what you did for our country, and now what you're doing as an author. You know, to me, I'm assuming I would almost ask you the same question. What made, you know, but you said it earlier, you know, this is your way of helping. This is your way of not only helping yourself, right? Healing yourself and managing the PTSD and all those things. For me, Brennan, it's the same thing. Like we do the same job, brother. Like I manage my PTSD while I'm on stage, because that is what it takes me away from reality. It's like I'm up there doing my thing. Probably I hint maybe when you're in your book and you're writing and you're in that land. So I think in a lot of ways you and me probably do the same thing. Just you're much smarter than me and can write.
No, it's not that. I like being alone. I have stage fright. There's no way. I think what you do is amazing. Like I'm very like a homebody. Like I'm good. Like getting up on stage and doing anything in front of anybody is not a fear, but like not something I ever gravitate towards. So I think what you do is super amazing, because like that takes. And if people have never done that, if they've never been up on stage before for anything, even like to get an award, it is a different and for you to conquer that and overcome it is so impressive.
I thank you. You know, it's crazy because, you know, there's so many of us that have PTSD, and then there's different versions. You know, we all know that, and I've got a great therapist. Dr. B is amazing, and he has taught me over the years how to manage you know, because there's no cure for what's going on, but we can manage it, right? And I tell you all the time, you know, I'm not a homebody quite, Brennan, but like, don't trap me in traffic. Weird enough, I play for 10,000 people in an audience, right? On stage, I can look out and see 10, 20, 30,000 people and I'm in heaven, right? But if you stuck me inside those 10,000 people,
no.
Oh no, I'm freaking out. Like, so it's very weird for me to because people are always like, well, wait a second, Ryan, you don't really like being out in crowds, and you don't. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not in a crowd. I'm on stage, and half my band is veterans. So like, for me, again, it's like a safe space, right? So again, for you, right, sitting behind a computer, I'm assuming a laptop, and you're writing, that is your safe space. So 100%. Don't sell yourself short, Brendan. I think what you do is amazing, and I honestly, I haven't read a book since Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh God! I see what, man. Once the tears flow on that one, that's hard to come back from.
Yeah, but you know, you actually you inspired me, man. I'm gonna get your books, brother, and I'm gonna read them, because I think the twist that you just telling how you wrote it, that you kind of did this fantasy kind of land kind of thing. I'm just intrigued now. Now I'm like, okay, now I got to read it. Now I have to go read this thing. And by the way, thank you for your service, brother.
Thank you for yours.
Well, the rest of us are still here, even though these guys are just going to do whatever they want to do and run this. I told you this would happen, and it's good.
You did. Beautiful. You just said this exact thing.
No, it's amazing. And again, the exciting part about all this is the opportunity to build a network that of people that have like mind, like feelings, like thoughts, and we can grow together. And so I appreciate, and that's why we let this go the way that we do. Tonight is your guys' night. It is about Brennan Morton and him being an author, and it's about Ryan Daniel and him being a musician, and the fact that you guys served prior to these entities, and what are the makeups that got us to where we're at, and just the fact that you guys appreciate each other's craft. And so thank you for your expressions towards each other, because that is what builds this show. It is what builds the network. It is what builds relationships. So I'm excited to see where this goes, not only tonight, but in the future. And I mean, Ryan, I have nothing but accolades, and I don't know. We have a lot of musicians in our network, and I don't understand the when, the why, and the how. They don't all get the same level of appreciation that I feel that you are getting with your craft. And this is not an attack on you and your ability, but many of them are just as good. And so why do you feel, and I'm going completely off our script, and that's okay, we can do that. Why do you feel you've been offered some of these extenuating gifts to get to where you're at? Because your product is a fully finished video product with music and background. I mean, everything's done. Why are you gifted that opportunity and other musicians have not been gifted that opportunity?
First and foremost, I think, well, first, thank you for the compliments. I truly appreciate it. And you're right, though, there are many musicians and artists that are much better than me. I think the good Lord above, first and foremost, why he blesses me every day for the past 10 years to live a dream and live this amazing life. I don't question it. I just appreciate it and thank him as much as I can. I am not a perfect person, but he definitely blesses me. So there's one. Two, I honestly think that the leg up that I might have, say to another musician, and this is going to sound maybe cliche, but is my military. And what we learn in the military, and again, I would venture to say that I don't care if you're Air Force, Army, Marine, that doesn't matter, right? We all are taught discipline. We're taught networking. We're taught hard work. We're taught never give up. You know, all those things, right? So I took the one thing that really I thought would make a difference in the music business, despite talent. Yes, I can sing. Yes, I can put on a show, blah, blah. But what I rival against any artist, and I will rival this against some of the bigger artists, and I mean the Jason Aldeans, who is a great artist, and I love the guy, the Brantley Gilberts, all of them, right? What I will rival is the work ethic. And if you do not have the work ethic in the music business, you are not going to make it. This business will eat you up and spit you out in a second. If you know, it's like you know, I'm not even gonna say basic training, but Brennan can probably attest to this. Like we in the Air Force, we call it a pipeline, right? When you go through the pipeline, right? When you go through that hardcore training shit, the music business is 10 times worse than that. Like I'd go back and do that in a minute. This music will spit you out. So I think the artists that you guys know, what I would tell them for advice is man, get on that work ethic train. I'm up early in the morning and I start working, and I work late at night. And that is probably what has given me the leg up. Now, have I been lucky to be in the right place at the right time a few times? Yes. Have I had some opportunities? But again, I think it all rolls back to work ethic, right? We talked earlier. I got to open up for Three Doors Down in 2018. Now they're all my best friends. But what did I do? I got an opportunity and I ran with it, and I worked that opportunity. And so you just have to grind. You literally have to grind in this business. So
I bet did you have a pretty unsexy first year, I imagine, where you had to just do all the little gigs? And I don't think there's a lot of people who are willing to do that, where someone with a good work ethic are willing to do the small gigs, make the personal contacts, especially in music. Like, you wanna love your musician. You're just one of those guys that you just want to, hang out with. So I think you doing these little gigs a lot probably made a huge difference early on in your career. So I agree with you. I think your work ethic probably is more so than most, just listening to you and how you did and how many shows you do, and compared to most people.
Sure, Brandon, you're 100% right, Brandon. I tell everybody, like, they see the big tour bus and they see, all the accolades and the golds and platinums and everything I got up here, and it didn't start that way. When I got out of the military, I got my car repoed. My lights got shut off probably 3 or 4 times. I was in a pickup truck and a little 5x7 trailer with a microphone, a speaker, a DVD player that would play tracks, because I only had one song at the time. And I traveled around to these bars and clubs and dives for a couple years. And so I tell people, like, don't see the stuff you see now and go, oh my gosh, look at that. I didn't start in a tour bus. I don't have rich parents. I didn't win the lottery. What I did was I grinded, and I still grind. I still work, because one, I know there's artists out there that are probably there's a few that might grind harder than me, but I'm going to keep grinding and keep going. And Brendan, I still play those small gigs. Mm-hmm. I still go to some bars, a few of them that we can. There's a few that I can't go to anymore, just because the fire marshal would just lose the mind. The city would go, we couldn't fit, right? But I still play the small gigs. I don't forget where I came from. I don't forget how I got here, and I stay humble. And I think those are probably the most important accolades I think about me, is my work ethic, staying humble, appreciating God, appreciating the love of our veterans and our just being a good dude, like just being real. Don't burn bridges. Don't get caught up in the Nashville BS. And just do it your way and be true, and your fans will follow. And I have some of the best fans in the business because of that. Because it's not a gimmick. I'm not trying to, put on some silly costume and try to put on some silly gimmick show. No, I come out there and I pour my heart out, and we write great songs, and that's what we do. So for me, all the awards that I've won and all the fancy stuff that people see, and those are just materialistic things, man. I think the better stuff for me is just meeting the fans and being true and just work hard at your craft. So for me, that's what it is.
Brennan,
yeah.
Coming back to you, brother. Were you really good at language arts in high school?
No. I was not a good student. No, I had my mom was a school teacher. My dad was a logger, and but the one thing they both did is they both read a lot. So my dad used to work crazy hours, 6 days a week. My mom taught school and then took care of my brother. But my mom, they read to me every night. I actually remember where the red fern grows. My mom reading to that with my brother. So we just got read to a lot, and then my parents would read on the side, and so they always had a stack of books on their bedside tables, and that was kind of what they did before bed, and that just kind of stuck with me. And so I read a lot. I was actually kind of a misanthrope high schooler, not very popular. So I just read books. I just read everything I could, and then by the time I got to college, I actually went for I didn't go for English. I didn't like English all that much. So it was just something I did for personal reasons. Like I never thought really that like writing was where I was going to be at. Like I always enjoyed it, but it was never the thing I wanted. And I think as I went through the military, I started taking notes, and I kind of started putting together some, like, I wanted to write a book about the military, about what I'd gone through, because I'd gone through not just the bad stuff, but like Vahalla Boys. There's a lot of funny stories in there. The whole first third of the book is me going through Marine Corps boot camp and my special operations training, and I look back and it was fun. It was funny. Like there's a lot of interesting stuff that happened. So I just taken notes, and then so when I got out of the military and I started writing for the VA, I put that book aside. So I wrote the book, or kind of the framework, and I put it aside. And I am not an author by trade. This is a new thing. I actually owned a gym for 15 years till very recently. So I started a gym when I got out of the Marine Corps. I was running classes all day, every day, teaching people. It was actually my passion. I would teach classes all day. And so that's what I was doing during the day, was I was teaching fitness. And then I would write at night, kind of like he said, as like my safe space, the get away from it all. Because if you've never taught classes like in person, they are very emotionally draining. It takes a lot out of you. So I would just write on the side for funsies. And then as I got going, COVID hit. And that was when I had way too much time on my hands to sit still. I'm in Pennsylvania, which is not a great state to be in during COVID. They shut my gym down for about 4 months. I didn't know if I was going to ever open back up again. So I wrote the first of the fantasy novels during COVID to keep sane. It was just one of those things that like it gave me structure and purpose during a time when I don't think I slept. I started drinking. Like it was not a good time for anybody. But like I especially as a gym owner and someone already with PTSD, like it was hell on wheels. And so the first book of my fantasy series just gave me something to do at night when I couldn't sleep. So I was writing from like 9 p.m. to like 3 a.m. when my family was sleeping, and then I'd get up and I'd take care of my daughter, and I'd just be like a stay-at-home dad because I had nothing else to do. So it just gave me something to go for. And then just recently, within the past half year, my gym got shut down when a neighbor broke through our wall and flooded us with glass dust, which is its own horrible story. So I'd already been writing, and I had all these books, and I was like, oh, I should probably try to get published. So at the same time that my gym ended up closing down, I switched over to being an author. So what was like, that's why I asked Ryan of what, like, kind of like when he decided, like, I just kind of fell into it. Like, it wasn't like I was gonna be an author full time ever. It was like, oh, I like doing this on the side, and if something comes of it, great. But I was a business owner. That's what I was doing. I was running a gym. I was very happy. I was making good money. And then suddenly, about 6 months ago, I found myself without a job. All of a sudden, my gym shut down. I have something so I just started writing more. So I pumped out my first book and then my second book. At the same time, my gym was shutting down. My Casemate Publishing ended up picking up Vahalla Boys, which was a super honor. Casemate's a huge major publisher, and they picked up my memoir, and they said, yeah, and they made very little changes to it, and they put it out. It's actually coming out on audiobook the 17th, I think. So it's gotten that far. It's gotten that big. So if you guys are more audiobooks, on the 17th, my wife will not read a book, but she will listen to every Audible known to man. So it's going to come out on Audible, I believe that's 17th. So it got pretty big. And so now I kind of find myself, I had worked, that's why, like I was talking about with Ryan, like, you just really work hard, not really trying to look at the end goal, just knowing that it might pay off someday. And then I just kind of fell into it. It just kind of, he said, it's not luck. I think that's a misnomer for a lot of people. They see all the, oh, here's a tour bus now, here's the end result. But it's because you've put yourself in all these positions. It's you've done all this hard work, met all these people while you're working, that when something comes up, because none of my books would have been published if it wasn't for one of my clients just mentioning that she was a book reviewer, and she's the one who was like, yes, Chris, you're right. So she was the one who knew that I was.
To see that.
But she was the one who was like, hey man, can I read this really personal novel of yours? And I was like, sure. And she was the one who actually had me submit it, because that Vahalla Boys was never going to see the light of day. But now that I have, it's kind of opened a lot more doors for me. And it's like who you meet along the way and the hard work you've done, kind of, I'm glad I did, but it paid dividends. So now I find myself kind of writing full time, where I never thought, even a year ago, that would be on my horizon.
What color did you do your first draft in? I mean, it's like, your box of crayons. And
so I had a hard time because I would eat half of them. So like it was like green for a little bit. I'd eat too much. I'd have to go to a purple nub. Like it was terrible. Mostly pictograms. Mostly just like pictures of stuff, and I'd hand that in.
You're a blessing, brother. Thanks for taking the shots, and thanks for being a Marine too. That's always red. That's.
Chris is my tour bus driver, and one of my best friends. We didn't know we deployed together in 2004, but we were both deployed at the same time. Telling war stories. But he's been my driver for 8 years. He's Prime Marine. That's why he's cracking the jokes. You
Chris,
on the bus that we tell him we knock each other all the time.
Chris, remember we're dealing with a sniper and a breacher, just so you know. If you want that tour bus to keep running the way it's supposed to, I'd simmer down just a little bit, brother.
Brennan, don't take it personal, buddy.
I have, so that's, and you probably experienced this, especially coming out of the military. Life outside the military just seems lighter. Like you can take a joke. You can it's really hard to get me going. It's because all we did was bust each other. That's how you show your love. That's how you show camaraderie. Is just bust each other so much. I still get texts from guys I served with, almost 20 years ago, still busting each other. Just randomly. I haven't talked to them in a year, and all of a sudden you get a bust, and you're just like. So and I actually do love the inter-rivalry between even the branches. So in my gym, I actually had all the flags of all the branches and stuff. I had huge flags. And we were very pro-military. I actually trained a lot of the recruits who were going into the military, and it was just fun. It was just good fun, because again, everyone has, something to say about each branch and stuff like that. So we always had a good time with it, and And I feel like it actually brought all the military people a lot closer. Even though you're busting each other, you always felt like you could, because you shared that experience together and that you had that. Where I don't think because people from the outside see it as like, oh, they're mean to each other, but it's like I don't take it personally. like I remember all the stereotypes. I have a guy who was a machine gunner, so he was a Marine too, but he was a machine gunner. We send each other memes all the time. Like, I mean, that's how we communicate, and that's how we like, hey man, how you doing? That's our like reading, man. Like, how you doing? Here's a funny meme. Everything good? Cool. You know, just by sending some jokes that might be a little little personal, little digs, but they understand that, and they really kind of like, I think it's part of the love. And you see this in cops, you see this in nurses, you see this in every branch and every service that has trauma, that has that high stress, that high where you just have to let some steam off. There's always the gallows humor, there's always the ribbing each other, and I think that's hugely important, because I'm sure you met someone, Ryan, in your unit who didn't like it, who was too serious for it, and they didn't gel, they didn't never fit quite in because they couldn't get into the whole, like, you know, the fun of it.
Yeah, 100%. Especially being in the Air Force, you know, I'm not going to say that there wasn't some softies, and there's probably some more softies now, but yeah, you just, you know, but you know, I probably get out at the right time, because if I was still in now, I would probably be like, are you shitting me right now? Are you crying? Yeah, it's true, Brennan. You know, we as military members, and I'm sure first responders the same way, you know, your police, your firefighters, all those, and they rib each other. But when you know, I like to say, when the shit hits the fan, right? We one team, one fight pretty quickly. And it's a good way to, when we're on the tour bus, it's tour prank city. I've had Chris arrested before.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So like, I mean, and my drummer is a retired 30-year command chief in the Air Force. It's my drummer. So we are constantly just on each other with the jokes. And you know, I met this weekend I was playing in Wisconsin. I met a fellow Marine that came to the meet and greet, and what a great guy. And he walked up, and the first thing he said to me, second thing, the first thing he was like, "Hey, great show, great to meet you, Ryan." And he said, "Did you say you were in the chair force?" You know what I mean? Yep. So like, even now, but that's that banter that folks like us, you know, I don't know, that's our bond. Like you said, that's how we communicate with each other. That's how we blow off steam. That's how we do what we do. And I personally wouldn't have it any other way. I think when people make fun of Air Force, Army, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, I think it's great. I think that's what we do. It's funny, and I'm like you. Me and Chris send memes probably on a daily to each other, just dumb stuff. Just, you know what I mean? Like, but that's how we. That's our release, right? That's
how you let off some steam.
Yeah, man. But at the end of the day, we all know that we love each other, and I would take a bullet for that guy and my Lucky, and I know he would do the same for me. And we just, you know, we got each other's six, you know. And Chris can call me at 3 o'clock in the morning if he's having issues, and I've called him at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that is exactly, you know, I believe what this podcast is partly about. You know, it's just taking care of each other, taking care of your brother, and even though we're out of the military now, you know, we don't leave nobody behind, man.
So I'm not sure that people are going to answer some of the questions that are in here, which is fine. Some people may not know what a hog tooth is, and I just want to kind of let people know and understand. HOG stands for Hunter of Gunmen, just so you guys know. And this is a trained sniper in the Marines. And so just give some people some knowledge in case you don't know what that means. It's not a real pig tooth hanging off your neck. It's actually a round that looks, and a lot of snipers use that as a note, a time, a piece where they know they started their profession as well. So I love the conversation. I have a 24-year-old 13 Foxtrot sitting about 20 feet that way, and I am aghast about listening to some of the conversations him and his buddies have in regards to all the things. And some people don't understand these pieces. And again, there's some aspirations for this young man that he has some political aspirations. And I'm like, you have to be careful, because some of the things that you guys say in conversations might come back to touch you. Because I'm endeared by it. I love watching what they do. I love the camaraderie that they have. It's fun watching a 13 Foxtrot. I was a 13 Bravo. I sent the boom, and he told me where to put it. I wish that would have been the case in real life, but the military has changed. I think it was Ryan that said, it was a good time to get out. It has changed over the years, and it is a little different than what it used to be. And those conversations are unique. And again, I love what the relationship these guys have created, but I don't question. I'm always interested that they can talk the nasty of nasty, having fun, but then when the old man gets in his business, he gets butthurt over some of the stuff that we talk about. And it's just like, hold it together, dude. I just heard what you said to your buddies online. You're going to get all butthurt over tiny little stuff here, and we have our moments here. But that's the world of artillery, I think. Everyone's edgy. Everyone's got a twitch, right? That's what happens. Ryan, what song you want to go with next?
We got to save the best for last. I mean, go with Camo. Camo is another great song that I got from a really good friend of mine, James G. Went to school with him, and I was in the market to record my third album and was gonna start my next single, and he hit me up and was like, dude, you have the perfect voice. This is the perfect, song for you. And I'm ashamed of myself. I can't remember the other writer besides James. It was a good friend of his, but the other writer is he was on like season 10 or 12 of The Voice, finished like top 5, great vocalist. And they gave me the song, and they let me tweak it, to what some of the phrasings that I have. We talk about, ammo troop and those kind of things. So yeah, Camo was another level for me again that kind of put me on. That was the first song my first, 500,000 streams, was that song, you know what I mean? So I think it's great too.
This is Ryan Daniel with Camo.
I can use it in the woods, on the seat of my truck. It sure looks good. From my Razorback hat to my old hunting boots. Yeah, I wore it in Iraq, but working ammo troop. I like the green and the brown, got my real tree fitted. Puts me on the hunt when I see my girl in it. We can sneak around and play, nobody's gonna know. That's why my favorite color is camo. From the NHRA to a Saturday night, and I'm getting right. It was put to the test, keeps me out of sight. And these colors don't run, they blend in and fight. I like the green and the brown, got my real tree fitted. Puts me on the hunt when I see my girl in it. We can sneak around and play, nobody's gonna know. That's why my favorite color is camo. Me on the hunt when I see my girl in it. We can sneak around and play, nobody's gotta know. That's why my favorite color is camo. Everybody show me camo.
That is Ryan Daniel, camo. What was the last camo pattern for the entire panel? We'll start with Ryan. The last camo pattern you wore, Ryan.
Just the BDU. I mean, I guess. I mean, is that? It's been so long. I've been out. Is that was that still the what it's called? What was called just a regular BDU?
Could be depending on the year.
I got out in 06, so that was BDU was kind of fading out, I think, and then
BDU with woodland pattern.
No, just the regular. I still have one uniform. Yeah, whatever that the normal old school, I guess, pattern that came after the straight green, then you went to like a DDU pattern. And when I got out, they were transitioning to the whatever it was called.
Miss Eichmann, do you remember the last you wore? Rattlesnake.
Let me just clear this that I'm not military. So I have an army hat, which was probably the last camo that I wore. Well, actually, okay, let me take that back. I did dress, shoot, but I don't know what year it's from. My dad's old National Guard jacket I wore.
Okay.
Yeah, very similar.
There it is.
So you're that. Brennan, what was the last pattern you wore?
I wear probably something every day, like my normal clothes. I usually have something, but I was in the digi pattern. We just switched over to the digis, which were super effective, actually. I loved them. I thought the woodland pattern digis were amazing.
Jonathan.
Same. I was in those BDUs. I got out in 06 as well, so they were transitioning to ACU and never put them on.
Kenzer.
Desert Cami back in the 90s.
Yeah, I was also woodland. That was the last one I wore. That's the only one I ever saw from, oh my gosh, 1988 to 2002. I only saw the woodland pattern, so I didn't get all those. I had to polish my boots, for Pete's sakes. Everyone had to polish their boots? No, Brennan.
No.
No.
I looked. I didn't. You know, Brendan. I didn't either. I mean, being an ammo guy, we were kind of set apart from what we would call regular Air Force. So we.
Yeah, in country, we so again, recon's kind of like a separate. We were actually wearing flight suits and Oakley boots, so we weren't even wearing camo over there. We were just flight suits and Oakley boots.
Yeah. I can't fathom the amount of hours I spent polishing frickin' black boots from basic to the end, and it just like, oh my gosh. And the year I get out, they moved over to the desert brown, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Amazing song again, Ryan. People getting out of their seats, doing their dance, doing the thing. I just appreciate this craft that you have and what you're doing. Brennan, what's next for you, brother?
I just put out the second, like literally, I think June 1st. So 7 days ago, I just put out book 2 in my fantasy series. Book 3 is about halfway done. I basically I have a 10-book series. I think my series is going to be about 10 books long. So I've been cranking through that, and then I have some other projects I'm looking to do. Just that kind of stuff. My daughter's 10, and my wife is a contractor with the pipeline. So she is actually the one who's been working 16, 18 hours a day, 6 days a week. So I'm actually the stay-at-home dad too. So, but it's my time is split between writing and taking care of our 10-year-old.
Well, your hands are full doing that for sure. Have your kids read your books?
So no. It's okay. The books are a little. I'm not going to say. So there's no swearing and there's no sex, but that said, there is, I would say, adult themes, things that, like, because again, it's an analogy for PTSD. So there is trauma. There is. So I'm not. When I say Game of Thrones, like there's no weird plot line. It's very PG, except for the actual, I would say, what's in it is very heavy at points. There is death, Absolutely. There is coping, there is that stuff. So I would say, like, it's written like it's young adult as far as like PG, but it's more for an older audience. I would say like 18 plus, as far as the ability to understand or begin to understand the themes and stuff like that. So she does read some of my stuff. She actually writes herself. She sees what I do, so she started to write. She writes little 8-page stories about whatever. And so we actually sit side by side writing sometimes, and she's a great kid. So like, I show her some stuff, but she's never like really sat down and read any of my stuff yet. She's still into I don't know, comic books and stuff like that. And I don't try to force it on her. It's like, great. When you want to read it, great. If not, that's fine too. Like, whatever you want.
Fair enough. You said the word cope, and I coming from the world of education, and I don't know if many people know. I hope our network knows that I still teach during. Not now. I'm off, but one of the pieces that I struggle the most with in our entire societal norms is the inability to teach people how to cope. It's not a lesson, and I don't know also that everyone can teach it. How does a Marine sniper teach a 10-year-old young lady how to cope with things in life?
Actually, that's a great question. So I think one of the things, like, me and my wife, kind of early on when my daughter was very young, we had certain things that we believe in as far as parenting. We believe that kids should be exposed to danger. And I know that sounds really horrible to say out loud, but like, kids need to be able to, on their own, face a danger and then overcome that danger. And at first, it doesn't have to be a huge danger. It could be just walking across a beam alone without you helping them. Or, learning how to do something without you necessarily helping them on a timeline. Like, hey, we have to go in 10 minutes. I need this, this, and this done. You're on your own. And so we've tried very hard to make her as resilient, and that's the word we use, is resilient, where she's very independent at this point, to where, as far as a 10-year-old, I feel very confident that I could put her in almost any situation and she would not break down. She would be able to cope through. She has high-end skills. She cooks one meal for us, usually a week. She bakes. She does a lot of the things that give her confidence, and I think that's where we try to put a lot of stress is letting her do things for herself, even if it takes a lot longer in our lives, to let her do it on her own and fail, and then do it again and fail, and then get that confidence back up. So as far as that, like, that's actually when people ask me, because she gets pretty good grades, but that's not what I'm most proud of. I'm proud of our kid doesn't. Our kid's not a crybaby. Our kid's not a kid who things they roll off her back pretty easy. You know, when kids make fun of her at school, she's like, yeah, whatever, like, not a big deal. As opposed to a lot of the kids, I think now they're not resilient. They don't have the coping skills that I think a lot of us growing up with. We were left to ourselves. I lived in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and so it's one of those things that, like, I don't think kids nowadays are given that same amount of ability to prove themselves to themselves and get that confidence that we had. But almost, I mean, like, I don't know about you, but I was riding a bike around my county, at 10 years old, with very little oversight. And there wasn't, and so when I went to the Marine Corps, I was like, oh yeah, bring it on. Where there was, kids now, like, don't even leave the house. Can't walk down the street without their parents worrying about them and doing things for them. And so I have that's a whole diatribe for me. So we just wanted our daughter to be confident that there's nothing she couldn't tackle on her own. And so we let her do most things on her own unless she asks specifically for help.
I agree with everything you're saying. The thing that we struggle with, and the parts that I struggle with, is if you're not conquering and tackling some of the tougher issues in life in real time and in real space, then you end up getting some that cry over the fact that there's crust still on their sandwich. And that's not a real thing to have trauma or hurt over. So I agree with these pieces. I think the majority of our panel are kind of the space where we walked out the doors at sunup, and we might be back at sundown. In fact, I used to sleep at the lake that was about 2 miles away from my house, fishing overnight and during the day, and we didn't have cell phones. I'll be honest, I don't know that I want my 24-year-old daughter dealing with any of that stuff. And I'll be honest, I don't know that that's why we have apps that say when you go to Miami for a spring break this year, you're on the app. I need to know where you're at all times. Not that I need to know. I don't care. I don't care where you're at. I don't care what you're doing. I don't want to know what you're doing. But I need to know how to get hold of you if I can't get hold of you. And granted, phones don't necessarily secure that, but it's a different time and different place. And with the amount of people that are missing and the whole trafficking crap that's out there, which is a part of the People's Patriot Project. Another time, another place, but I don't want to put that in your brain about. Yeah, we'll move on. Thanks for that explanation, because I find it intriguing. So, for example, and I don't know, has your daughter ever watched American Sniper?
No.
Nope. Content is probably not appropriate, and I totally get that. Because at some point, has she asked the questions, what did you do, Dad?
Yep. So I've slowly, so we actually, I love it. I actually get to drive her to school and from school every day, which is my favorite time of the day. Where we actually have a lot of heart-to-heart talks, and over time, we've slowly raised the bar of what is appropriate for her, and we can get into some really heavy stuff, life, death, stuff like that, and we're headed there, and I've talked about it in roundabout ways. and she knows there was trauma, but we haven't got into the nitty-gritty yet.
Sure. No, that time will come. And again, Brennan, thank you for your words, and thank you for how you eloquently speak and all the pieces. We appreciate you, brother. Mr. Daniel, don't go anywhere, Brennan. We're not done. We're at the hour and a half.
I'm good. As long as
I'm having a blast. I was gonna pipe in on Brennan. Brennan, I think you said it so well, brother. Because I'm a daughter dad myself, and I have 3 daughters that the Lord blessed me with. Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah, but I think yeah, and Mark, everything you're saying, time has changed. I was the same way. We all rode our bikes for miles, and no worry in the world. But the world has changed in a different place, and obviously, as parents, we have to shift a little bit and pivot. But I do agree with what you're saying. My 3 daughters will fight grown-ass men, and I raised them that way. Like, yes, be eloquent, and I want you to be a lady and know how to be a lady, but I also want you not to punch a man in his face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all my daughters carry guns. Like my, I taught them to shoot. I taught them to hunt. I taught them to skin deer. Like, all the things you were talking about. So I think that whole, but it's probably because I would go back to the military thing. I think that we know what this world is. We know what could happen. And granted, my daughters are much older than yours now, but I'm sure just from hearing you speak that I think you're going to probably end up teaching your daughters the same things that I did. Everything from the skills you're talking about, cooking and cleaning and maybe hunting and maybe shooting and protecting themselves. You have to. I think, yeah.
But I don't think, even if they didn't use that, even if they didn't ever have a situation where that was used, the fact that you trusted them and the fact that they felt confident in those skills is, I think, a skill in itself. That I don't think there's a lot of kids who are given the opportunity anymore to actually feel good about themselves in a way that they feel confident. I think confidence is at an all-time low because we can't let our kids go outside like we used to, and we can't just let them roam. What are we doing to give them challenges that they can overcome themselves or feel good about themselves, where it's safe for us, it's safe for them, but they still leave more confident than they came in? I mean, there's kids who are getting to high school who've never had a challenge in their life because their parents put a dome on them, and then all of a sudden things get hard and they crumble. Whereas if they're constantly challenged and constantly overcoming them, and that gets built up, slowly by slowly, there's going to come a time where you can just let them go, knowing you've done your best, and there's very few things they'll run into outside of calamity that they can't handle emotionally and physically. But yeah, my daughter's in MMA right now. She's been doing it for about 4 years. She's 10. She does karate and self-defense with a guy on privates every week. I hope she never has to use it. But I'll tell you what, the confidence she's gotten from these classes, from these things, that all these tests and all the things, she's got a belt rack that she's just built up, and she feels good about herself. And she's like, Dad, I think I could hold my own. That is, I think, the important part. I hope she never has to, but just the confidence that she thinks she can, compared to a lot of kids right now who, what have they ever been shown that they're good at? What have they ever been shown that they think they can get better at? And I think that's a huge issue our society has not come to grips with, is what are we doing for kids to make them feel good? Like, I went to a hunter safety camp when I was 12. The 3-week overnight hunter safety camp, that changed me. I felt so much more prepared and stuff, and it was like, we didn't do anything super dangerous, but I think these little things are being missed because parents are so afraid. I'm not going to name names, my ex-wife, but she right. But I think there's a bubble, right, that she wants to put around our daughter, and it's like, you have to let her fail. You have to let her. She was getting bullied at school, and she said, "What do you think we should do?" Nothing. She has to learn how to deal with this bully now at 10, so when she's 16, when she's 24, she can deal with bullies then. right? Like I think the default setting of our society is to just do it for them, and that's the good parent. But I think it's backwards, and I think we're setting them up for disaster on the other end.
100% agree with you. I think it's sheltering parents that they're just making the society so weak. And gosh, Brendan, you are such a smart dude. Like he speaks so much better than me, Mark. I'm just a redneck from Arkansas. You know what I mean? Like, but you're so right. Like, I see these parents, man, and I look at them and I'm like, your kid is a sissy. Like that kid's gonna get beat up his whole life. Like, because, and it's sad because they, like you said, it's a bubble, it's a shelter. And they're like, oh my gosh, here's a video game. Here's this, just go play in your, like, they're not making their kids do anything hard. They're not making them fail. They're not making them strong. You know, they're not teaching them any real life skills. I can't stand it. You know, yes, we need the computer people and we need the IT people and all those kind of things, right? But like most girls, like my girls are older, right? But all my girls can like change a tire.
Exactly.
My girls can change their own oil. My girls can whip out a Glock and shoot a target and shoot very well. Like my girls can have skills, right? They have real life skills. You know what I mean? To me, that's what's missing in parenting. Like I have an ex-wife as well, Brendan, who is,
welcome to the military.
Yeah, right. Who just is she's as much of a sissy as anybody else. And it's like, grow up. Like, what are you crying for? Like, I remember my youngest daughter, Emily, one time, telling me the internet went out. So her phone didn't work, Daddy, I can't get, and I said, you think that's a problem? You really think that's a problem? And I looked at her and I said, how about the guy that just got his legs blown off 2 weeks ago in Iraq? Now that's a problem, Emily. Okay. The internet being out right now for a few hours, that's not a problem. And that stuck with her, right? To this day. And she will look at other people, and now she has a child. I have a grandbaby. It's amazing. I have a bunch of grandbabies, and it's so wonderful to see my kids doing what I think you and I do, Brendan, which is teach them to fail, and but also teach them the skills to, okay, you failed. Here's how you failed, but here's the skills you need so you don't fail anymore. And like you said, the confidence thing. People get confidence and cocky, I think, misconstrued.
100%. 100%.
I am 100% cocky in the fact that I will rival my band and my music against a bunch of people, right? It plays into parenting. My kids are very cocky and confident, and good for them. Good for them. Walk with your chest out, chin up, and when you walk into a room, be noticed. And there's nothing wrong with that.
So I had a conversation with a young man in my house when he was a middle schooler. He came to me and he said, Dad, I'm being bullied by this kid. And I said, sometimes being bullying's a choice. And he's like, what? You're supposed to support me. I go, I am supporting you. But are you talking about a guy that's just a jerk that's calling you names? Are you allowing him to own property in your brain? If you're allowing him to own space in your head, yep, he may be bullying you, but you're allowing him to bully you.
Yep.
You get to say, now, if he's touching you and if he's hurting you, that's another conversation. But if he's using words, then stand up and say, you know what? You don't get to own any space between these ears. Go away, feller. We don't have to deal with that. And that was a tough conversation for him to hear at that time. Now this was tough because I'm the football coach in the district, and I'm also the fire teacher in the building, and do I want to put a thumb on this little dude and say, why are you walking around being a turd? Can't do that. Got to give your kids some tools. And the bullying thing is a non-conversation for me. It's if you're allowing that to happen, Now, if you got a team of kids, and social media is another monster right now, we're not going to get down that path all tonight, but because there are some creeps out there that need to know and need to be taught how to act. And I don't know that social media is the right channel for many of our kids today, because I don't think they can handle it.
I agree, Mark. I think social media is it's wonderful for obviously guys like me, right? And I'm sure Brennan,
a tool.
Yeah, it's a tool. Great for Brennan. Great for all of us, right? Look at even what we're doing now. But people get on social media and they spill their business. They they bully. There's what's it? It's like online bullying now. There's the creeps you talk about, but it's just like, man, I think social media is a great tool if you use it. I think the way that it was meant to be used. I tell people all the time when they go see my social media, I know people that have been fans and been to 6-8 shows of mine, right? And then they go, "Oh my gosh, you got kids?" I'm like, yeah. We never see your kids. I'm like, yeah, because I don't post my kids on social media.
Oh no, yeah, no. My all our social media is completely clean. Like, yes. I have a private account for my family only. I have a public account, and none of my personal anything's ever on it. It's like a business page, because that's 100%. that's not anyone's business. And they shouldn't. There's for me a huge line between and the personal, and I don't post any of my personal stuff online. That's why you have friends. That's why you have a wife. That's why you have all these people in your life. You don't need to be putting that stuff out there for anyone.
Well, and for so many reasons, and even for Brennan, as you become more popular, right, as an author and all those things, right? Things happen, right? And it's crappy to say, but artists are the same way. As we get more famous, I don't need people knowing where I live. I don't need people knowing who my daughters are. I don't need them knowing those kind of things in my life. Now, by happenstance, is that eventually maybe going to happen because of something else? Maybe, yeah, but it won't be because of social media. It won't be because I'm posting pictures of them and my grandkids. I don't do that. No, that is wrong. And then Mark, hell, we could go off tangent on social media all day. Social media pisses me off. I love what I do with it, but I see other people do it and they post their business. They post my wife just cheated on me with this guy, and then here's this thing, and like it just goes overboard. It's like, what are you people doing? Like, this is not what it was created for. It's created for networking and building each other up. And I don't care if you're talking about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's all created supposedly to make artists, authors, podcasts, musicians, and it's supposed to be a good thing. And you have all these people that turn it into this bad thing. It just pisses me off.
It's just a responsibility that our society as a whole can't handle, and that's the reality. And yeah, I even talk about this with our brothers and sisters. I mean, if you're struggling, I get you're struggling. Social media is not the place for that. Reach out to someone that you trust. Reach out to someone that can carry you. But posting it all over the tabloids, that's not where it belongs. And you're not going to get the help you need doing that either. So that's just one of the pieces that we touch on, and want to make sure people. I mean, I'm not going to lie, because half the time the asks that are out there, we find because of that. But I'll reach out and say, hey, I'm seeing you got some struggles. Is there something we can do to help you with?
Yeah, I agree, Mark. You just there's other avenues for all kinds of things, and that includes obviously a social media tool. I posted maybe last week or week before, because a friend of mine posted. You see the post about like hey, reach out, tag 6 people in this, but in that link is the link for suicide awareness, right? For so there's avenues, but again, that's using social media in a positive way, right? We're posting links, we're posting phone numbers, we're posting avenues that people can go get help for whatever it might be, domestic violence, suicide awareness, all those kind of things.
We're posting great podcasts that let veterans and first responders know that we're here to help, and let's not cut our nose off, because there is a bunch of positive. And
there is. I agree. There is. If we could just get everybody else to get on board with all the positive stuff, then it'd be a better place.
Oh, wave the magic wand. Wave it. All right. We're going to go way over our slot limit. Andrea has been sending me dirty, nasty looks. You're going to go over 2 hours, Peterson. Yeah, sorry. Not that we have to, can to, not to, it don't matter. But we are posting both of these gentlemen's not social, that's the subject we're on. Their links to make sure you know how to get Brennan's book, the links so you know how to get to Ryan's music. We are going to do final thoughts and then do a lead in to Ryan's last song, and end the show with the last song. So I got a slur tonight. Jonathan Crochet. Final thoughts, brother.
I think it goes without. There's a lot of people that have the thoughts, the dreams, I want to do this with my life, and they just sit on it and burn the motivation out until there is none, right? So I think we have at least two people on here that prove that sometimes if you just jump in with both feet and follow your dreams, that good things happen. And your dreams may fulfill a part of your life, but when you get that, we were talking about confidence a lot, right? So when you get that confidence from achieving your dreams, and then you'll find out that the things that you've been searching for and the things that you wanted to do in your life will also help build other people's lives. And it's I guess what I'm trying to say is don't wait out the motivation. If you feel like now's the time, if you feel like there's a calling or something for you to do, somewhere you need to be, then get with it. Life will work itself out. All you got to do is what was that part that everybody was saying about Ryan and Brennan at the beginning? You just got to keep that work ethic high.
Brennan, final thoughts, brother.
I'm going to go back to what I think you were originally talking about the keeping the memories alive. I think that is something that, like, Memorial Day was just, 2 weeks ago? That is, I think, one of my hardest days as a veteran with PTSD, because I still post the guys I lost. It means something to me. But I think it's really important that we continue to celebrate them, even if it hurts, even if it sucks to share, even if it's not your favorite thing to do. I have made it something that every Memorial Day I wake up early and I post about them, and to be honest, I have a good cry about it. And I remember them, and I look at the pictures of them, and I keep their memories alive, because, like you said, like, they're gone, but they're not really truly gone until the last person who knew them, forgets. So I think it's really important that we all kind of keep their memories alive moving forward, until we've really truly given them the send-off they deserve.
Miss Eichmann.
Let me just unmute myself. So just as I was thinking through all this last 2 hours of things that were being said, the thing that really sticks, you guys, is with both of you from two different places and doing two different things right now, but sharing all these pieces of your growth and all the choices that you made to get here, This is a great way to support anybody out there that's not sure what they want to do or where they're going. Not that their path will be anything like yours or come out the same way, but sticking to the grind. That's what we need to put back into our world is, what is it you want to do? And why are you not focused on that? Why are you going to the drudgery of each day if it's drudgery? And so I just, when we can validate through what you both have done and put it in these words and in this platform to show others that if it's the choices they make, it's not what we say, it's not what we do, it's not where we put them in our little categories, it's what they want to do. So watching you and hearing you, it gives such validation to what can be done if you put your mind to it. So thank you very much for coming on and sharing that. It means a ton to have you on here, not just as a music guest and a smart guy. Can I just see that Brennan's the smart guy here? Sorry. And he's a Marine. Did I just say that? And I'm kidding. You guys are amazing. But you both have served. You both sacrificed. You are amazing parents. Some of you farther than others. All of you actually, because Jonathan and Mark have amazing kiddos as well. And so thank you for being here, putting things out there, for working and sharing things that can be bigger than what we all are. It really means a lot. Thanks for coming in and thanks for sharing that. Peterson? You're muted.
Sorry. My turn. This is one of our episodes where I call this a perfect package. The flow, we didn't get through all of our pieces, and that's okay. The conversation is intriguing. There's real life stuff being communicated. Shannon Book is in the house. An amazing musician out of Texas. Love what Shannon Book's doing. We're going to have to bring you guys back. That's what's going to have to happen. That's the reality. And we would like you guys to consider coming back and being more regular if you'd be interested in doing that.
Absolutely.
There is opportunity for growth around every corner we step. It has been something that we've grasped onto and said, we are intending for the version of us tomorrow to be a better version of us today. And sometimes that's not easy. We get that. But it is the let's grow piece that we enjoy doing with the People's Patriot Project. The network grows with quality and people with integrity. Not gonna lie, every once in a while we step onto and bring people into the network that aren't a good fit, to be honest with you. And I hate saying that, but that's the reality. And they may be in it for themselves. They may be in it for, you know what? If it's their personal growth, that's great. But we're trying to work as a collective to help veterans and first responders. And that was the conversation tonight. So perfect package evening. Thank you both for being here. Thank you for all the amazing viewers that have commented. We appreciate you and thank you. And if there's a way that you can see us grow, let us know. If you would like to be part of the mission, let us know. We have a plethora of ways. We need time, talent, and treasure to make this mission work. We don't stop. Even when it gets tough, even when the conversation is hard, even when we haven't raised all the funds we need to help some of it. We have an ask right now that's roughly an $8,000 ask in our network, and we don't have it within our means of the People's Patriot Project to accommodate that ask. We'll put it out there. We'll try to get it done. It's a great conversation. We're always growing. We're always moving forward. Thank you again to our guests. Thank you for our viewers. Ryan Daniel, you got a little bit different ending here because you are A, final thoughts, B, lead in to your last and final song.
I'll try to keep it short. I mean, I'm not going to beat a dead horse because everybody kind of said it, and I agree with everybody. Work ethic. As far as if we, as a group that are on here tonight, at least for me and Brennan, again, I'm not speaking for Brennan, who definitely is the smartest guy.
What the heck?
I mean, he's at least smarter than me. But no, and what Jonathan was saying, work ethic, put it in there. I encourage any artist to just put in the work and grind, and you can do what I'm doing, and you can do it bigger, and you can do it better. There's always somebody better. Something that I live by in the music business is something that someone told me, and I think this could work for anybody. The ones that don't make it are the ones that quit. And I'll just say that, and thank you for letting me be on here with you. It was a pleasure to meet everybody. Brennan, again, thank you for your service.
Hey,
Mark, thank you for your service. Jonathan, for what everybody does. Andrea, you've been kind of quiet, but I know you've been listening and taking notes and all those kind of things. I would love to come back on as well. And I hope that if there's any way that I can help with the People's Patriot Project, I have a lot of influencers and friends that maybe we can help reach some of them goals that you guys need. And just reach out and let me know. You got my number.
You're a blessing. That lead into that song, brother.
Backroads and Bonfires, my newest single. We just won Video of the Year on Monday at the Arkansas Country Music Awards. Very happy about that. I was up against some great musicians. I'm honored to have took home the award, and just blessed to be doing what I'm doing. So hopefully you guys enjoy the song. Go download it. Go check it out. Go stream it.
This is Ryan Daniel with Backroads and Bonfires.
What you city boys know about this one? Every Friday night when we do our thing, it sure as hell ain't on the Broadway scene. We go into the country with the sun sets low, find a little peace and we take it slow. Now the work is done and it's time to play, picking up my baby and my Chevrolet. We head to a place city boys can't go, turning up the vibe and let the black smoke roll. Talking about the back roads that nobody knows, getting lost with you in the radio. Pretty pink toes in the shotgun seat, baby, we ain't got no other place to be except the bonfire that burns all night. I got a ride that could have filled with everything you like, the stars in the sky and you by my side. I'm talking about back roads and bonfires. Stop the cooler, filling up with gas. Country music playing, you can feel the flow. Rockin' lights and whips with the neon glow. Talking about the back roads that nobody knows, getting lost with you in the radio. Pretty green toes in the shotgun seat, baby, we ain't got no other place to be except the bonfire that burns all night. I got a ride that cooler, filled with everything you like, stars in the sky and you by my side. I'm talking about back roads and bonfires.
Coming back. Great job, everybody.
That was good. That was really good. You guys took off. We didn't even have to use any of our questions.
It was good.
That was
Probably
good.
me. Sorry about that. I get to.
No, it's good. That is good stuff. Sometimes, like, we ask them almost every single week, so it's good that, I mean, you guys just flowed, and that doesn't.
It
always
makes the conversation genuine, and I think that's a piece that, again, now throw it back into social media, having real talks about real subject matters that are affecting our society. And you guys did an amazing job. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
No, obviously, yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. And Brendan, it was good to meet you, man. I'm excited about your book, man. I definitely want to go read it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I actually have one of your songs queued up for my wife. As soon as we're in there, I'm going to show her, because I have headphones on, so she can't hear it. So I'm actually excited to show her.
No, that's great. I hope we can stay in touch, man. DM me or something on the social media, which I think we're in the same thing with phone numbers too as well.
Yes.
And again, man, appreciate your service and everything you're doing, and I appreciate the podcast with you guys that's going on. That you know, and like I said, I may want to say that if there's something I can do to help, you know, part of where artists forget where they come from. I talked about that. You know, you meet people, you know, like Mud for the Military. I support them a bunch, and we raise a lot of money. That's an organization that I can absolutely hook you guys up with.
We got to get him on the show for sure.
Yeah, Mike, he was listening. He just texted me. He goes, "You great podcast." They're a great organization. You know, 501c. You know, nonprofit. Been working with them for years. And you know, any way that we can help, every little bit counts. You know what I mean? There's just not enough. There's not enough of us right now, but if we keep grinding, right, we keep putting in the work, we can try to make a dent and a difference in something. And
the network is huge and amazing, and there are so many amazing people in there, and we've got some stuff in the works, and I have zero doubts. So we've been gifted. So Live Nation is kind of MF Minnesota a little bit. There are 3 venues that have used not used Live Nation. Live Nation is who they are. But they canceled all 3 venues for Live Nation because they're putting in a new facility down at Canterbury Downs. Well, one of the people came to us and said, "Hey, would you do one of your events at our space? We'll give you the entire 37,000 plus capacity theater